Hi, my name is Qin Xiaojie and I'm a psychotherapist. In my recent video, I've been trying to answer the question, how do I find a good therapist that's a good fit for me? In the last video, I talked about the therapist training and credentials. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the fee. If you are also a Chinese speaker that's willing to do the sessions in Chinese, I have another video that you definitely should check out, which I've done in Chinese, and it's also on fee because the access for people who are Chinese speaking is quite different from people who can only do the counseling sessions in a foreign language here in China, particularly in English. So I encourage you to check out the other video. So how much does a therapy session charge really depends on where you get the service from. There are service providers, including hospitals, either they are public or private. There are counseling centers. There are also another category, which I call independent practice domain. The price is different. For most people who are looking for English-speaking counseling sessions that are affordable, which means below 2,000 kwai, I would recommend them to see an independent counselor. Independent counselor or therapist means that their service provides directly by the therapist themselves, unlike the hospital counselors or counselors who are part of a service center. And because they provide the service directly to you, there's no charge in administration fee in running the center. So usually you will get a good deal when you can find the independent counselors. I also don't mean to say that independent counselors don't work for another place at all. Some counselors will have part-time jobs, or they have contract with some programs where they provide services to an organization or a company as well. So when I say independent counseling service, that means the contract is directly between you and the counselor. And how much does that look like in China nowadays? I have one disclaimer. What I'm going to talk about is my observation and my reflection. So it's not a rigorous research finding. So far, I've seen the session fee ranges from 400 to 1,500 per session, and that's usually 50 to 60 minutes. Without going too much into the details of the why, I want to bring our attention to the how much question, which is one of the most frequent asked questions that I got from my friends. So if you have limited budget, what would be the range that I personally recommend? And here is my answer. 500 to 800 per session is the recommendation that I give to my friends. So how did I come up with that number? Let's talk about on the lower end of 500. A counselor who has been to proper training, who needs their supervision, who has to do their continuing education, they need to make at least 500 per session in order to have a decent life. Independent counselors who don't work for other employers particularly have to also pay for their own tax, their social security. They don't get paid holiday or paid sick leave which is very different from most people who have a 9-to-5 job. So 500 is the minimum in order for a counselor with a master's degree to have a decent life. How do you come up with the 800 kwai on the upper end? Well, I asked myself the question, who are the good counselors in the community that take clients independently sometimes? Those are the counselors that I think of when I think about they've gone through really good training, they continue to learn, and they also offer a lot of support to other therapists and to the community for psychoeducation as well. They also are very empathetic. They are passionate about the mental health work that they do as a counselor. And I sometimes also personally turn to them for professional support when I encounter cases or issues as a therapist. and I find some of them charge as less as 800 kwai. This video today, I'm strictly talking about the individual session fee, which is different from couple therapy sessions or group sessions. Don't forget to check out the other video that I've done in Chinese if you also seek counseling services in Chinese.